Good morning, all. Yes, am I audible? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Fine. So in the previous class, that is on Saturday, we just discussed about how to write a simple programs using Verilog. So Verilog program starts with the keyword module and followed by the inputs and output ports, then followed by the input declarations as well as output declarations, then with a simple direct straightforward assign statement. Followed assign statement will tell us the relationship between the output and input using the operators like the first program, the AND gate. Y is equal to A, and was the operator which had the relationship between two inputs as A ANDed with B. So, and the program ended with the keyword end module. So these were the things we have discussed in the previous class. In the previous class, I have given you an assignment to write the different 6 remaining gates, right? Have you done that assignment? Have you done that assignment? Hello? Have you done that assignment? ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ? Yeah, if anybody have done, please scan your page and you can present your, you can just present the, you can open that assignment, scan it and open it so that we can discuss the same in the class. Sandhya. Sandhya Ji. Unmute yourself, Sandhya Ji. Hello. ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ
Sir,
assignment?
yes, 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 sir,
Okay, fine.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Did you find any difficulty in writing those?
No,
Because
sir.
all gates was explained to you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Using that program, you can write the six, remaining 6 gates. Hope already hope you have
Yes,
done it.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Those who are not done, please please see that we will do it today. Fine, we'll continue with the syllabus. So this is your syllabus. You have module 1, overview of digital design with Verilog HDL. So we'll straight away start that. Yeah. Overview of digital design with Verilog HDL. So Verilog HDL was invented by Philip Morby in 1983. 83, 84 at Gateway Design Automation. So it was a company which was just trying to manufacture the ICs. There, this Verilog was developed. It enables specification of a digital system at a range of levels of abstraction, like switch level, gate level, RTL level, and more than that, the higher level. So initially developed in conjunction with the Verilog simulator. So it was developed with the help of a simulator. It was developed. Then it became a language. So Verilog, as I mentioned in the previous class, it is derived from the word verifying logic. Verifying logic. So one more type of HDL is that is VHDL. So VHDL stands for, this V has 5 letters hidden inside it. V stands for VHSIC. HDL stands for hardware description language. So VHSIC is very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. So it was developed by DARPA. DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. So it was the US agency. There this VHDL was developed. So IEEE number for Verilog is 1364 1995, revised in the year 2001. Given as a number. Now the standard format or the standard number for Verilog is IEEE 1364, and the year which was revised, it is 2001. Now it is 2020. So earlier in 2000, from 1995 onwards, this language is existent. So it was developed in 1983, and it was standardized with a number IEEE 1364 1995. Then it was revised in the year 2001. Now it has the standard format or the numbering by the IEEE as 1364. The year is 2001. Fine. So this is about your Verilog HDL introduction. So let us move to different steps in VHDL based design flow. So how the design actually will be done in HDLs. We have two types of design techniques. One is front-end design and back-end design. So front-end designs, they are very painful. As I said, first thing is the very first and foremost thing in order to build a system is to write the block diagram. So block diagram itself will tell us what are the inputs, what are the outputs. Suppose if I'm designing an AND gate, so I'll use AND gate example meticulously in my explanation, because it's a very simple program. It has I'll use this 2 input AND gate as a common example while explaining the concept of Verilog. Then the first step is to write the block diagram. The second step is to code it. So coding you have done already, 5 to 6 programs you have written. Then after this, we'll go for compilation. Compilation means it is for us, we will know what is an AND gate, but in order to make the computer understand, you need to compile what is the AND operation. What is the AND operation? What does it mean? What does that signify? That is done by a compiler. Usually inbuilt compiler will take that job of converting your English like statements into machine level statements. Then you have simulation. So after simulation, we'll go with synthesis. Synthesis means just like what you have rigged up in your logic design lab. You are having the components. From that ICs, you gave the VCC, you gave the ground, you gave the logic switches as the input. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ವಿಷ್ಣು. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಹೌದಾ, 5th ಸೆಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ತಾನೆ ನೀವು? ಸರಿ ಅಪ್ಪಿ, ಆಯ್ತು. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರಾ? ಹಾ. ಸರಿ ಅಪ್ಪಿ, ಆಯ್ತು ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Synthesis is nothing but in your lab you have done the logic design lab. There you have ICs. From that ICs, we'll be giving the power supply, we'll be giving the ground. Then finally we'll check the output by varying the toggle switches, by giving the different toggle inputs, and connecting the LEDs. We'll see the output. So that's what I've done in the lab. So synthesis, what happens is that we have the software, we'll write the program, then we'll try to synthesize, we'll try to send the design onto an FPGA. FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Array. So usually synthesis is done using field programmable gate arrays. If that works fine, we'll go for IC manufacturing process. If synthesis fails, again we have to go back with the basic design. Once again from starting we have to start. Then after synthesis, it is your fitting. Fitting stands for where to fit the different blocks of our design. Suppose if you plan to build a house, before building you should have a plan. Likewise, if you want to build a system, before building a system you should plan it where to fit my components. For example, you have your mobile phones. The mobile phone, if it is very big, just like a geometry box, would you like to carry? No, definitely it should be compact in size. So this compactness is achieved only if the components are fitted well. That's why fitting process is very important. We call this as floor planning. Floor planning in Verilog. Floor planning should be properly done to minimize the size. Then the last thing we'll go with timing and verification. If timing is not proper, timing and verification is not done, again we'll have to go back to the coding part and have to check with the codes. That is why if I speak of any design, any digital design in VHDL, we need to have this following steps. The very first step is we have two types of steps: front-end design steps and back-end design steps. Front-end steps involves writing a block diagram, then writing a code, then compiling the code using a compiler. So after compilation, we'll go with simulation. If simulation is done properly, then we'll go with design synthesis. Design synthesis is usually done using an FPGA. If that design works fine, then we'll go with fitting. Fitting is nothing but floor planning. Then we'll go with timing and verification. If everything goes fine, then definitely the design is fine. We can go with the manufacturing process. Any IC is designed using the same process only. So this is the steps in VHDL based design flow. So a question will be asked in the exam: explain the design flow in HDLs. Then you have to write this block diagram and you have to explain. So evolution of computer digital design. Rapidly changing IC technologies had led to a new era of digital computing. Definitely, so we can say that the world is changing rapidly, especially in terms of electronic gadgets. Every day a new product is launched. As technology changes, the design of complex logic circuits become tedious and time consuming. So designing these things will become complex. Integrated circuits can be broadly classified into the following: SSI, MSI, LSI, VLSI and ULSI. So SSI stands for small scale integration. MSI stands for medium scale integration. LSI stands for large scale integration. VLSI, very large scale integration. ULSI, ultra large scale integration. So this as you can see that SSI, say for example 100 devices on a chip, we call it as SSI. MSI 1000, LSI 10,000, VLSI 1 lakh, ULSI more than 10 lakh. 10 lakh device on a single chip. So then we can classify the circuits based on the number of logic gates on a single chip as SSI, MSI, LSI, VLSI, and ULSI, where the number of logic gates on a single chip was increased according to the famous prediction of Moore. Moore was an economist. In 1986, he predicted that for every 18 months, the number of devices on a single chip will double. So he is an economist. He has given his view on the electronics. So which is obeyed as Moore's law, which is followed and obeyed as Moore's law. Moore's law is something about Moore is an economist who predicted that for every 18 years, the number of ICs, number of devices on an IC would double. He predicted that. It was his prediction, but nowadays we are not following this rule. Instead of we'll going with the parallel computing or parallel processing. That's why you have quad core processor, octa core processor. Likewise, earlier it was only one single processor. Now we can see there are 8 cores of processors present inside the modern CPUs. Moore's law, we're not trying to double the ICs. We are just increasing the working efficiency by working with things in parallel. So Moore's law is the observation that number of transistors in a dense integrated circuit doubles approximately every 2 years. The observation is named after Gordon Moore. So all of you type your USN and name in the chat box so that it can be taken for marking the attendance. Okay. 1965 paper described that doubling every year in the number of components per integrated circuit. With the advent of IC technologies, designers could put thousands of gates on a single chip. At this point, design process started getting very complicated, and designers felt the need to automate this process. Electronic design automation techniques began to evolve. Chip designers began to use circuit and logic simulation techniques to verify the functionality of building blocks of the order of about 100 transistors. So it is called as LSI. Computer-aided techniques became critical for verification of design of VLSI digital circuits. Computer programs to do automatic placement and routing for circuit layouts also become popular. So placement, as I mentioned, it is a floor planning. Even this floor planning is done by computers today. So entire electronic design process is computer aided design and development. CAD for digital system design. The designers were now building gate level digital circuits manually on graphic terminals. They would build a small building blocks and then derive higher level blocks from there. For example, in my design, I have 100 AND gates. So as a designer, I'll write the program of AND gate one time, and I'll make use of that AND gate program 100 times in my design. So what I mean to say is, if you write the program once, in the next stages, if you require that program, you can call it and you can make use of that program. So this is the advantage of CAD. Once you write the program, it is more than sufficient. You can call it and you can use it as number of times as you want in your design. Next, emergence of HDL. In electronics, a hardware description language is specialized computer language used to describe the structure and behavior of electronic circuits, and most commonly digital logic circuits. A hardware description language enables a precise formal description of an electronic circuit that allows for automated analysis. Automated analysis and simulation of electronic circuits. So these CAD tools are of great significance. Why? Because if you have this one of the Verilog HDL installed in your Verilog installed in your computer or laptop, you can design or you can create your own virtual lab. You can do whatever you want. You can create a full ladder, you can create a half ladder, you can create many circuits. You can also design a game, dice game, etc. using Verilog. So I'll show you a video related to the importance or significance of Verilog.
This project having an FPGA device, an LCD screen, and a push switch only. If you see on the LCD screen, then in the first row, the count is displaying, and the second row, the sum of the two digits, that is 1, 1 plus 1, that is 2. And the current position, that is lose, is showing that is win or lose. In our systems, I have made 4, 7, 10, that is for the win, and remainings are for the lose. So just I'm pressing a key from here. So when we have pressed the key, then the counting is running at a very high speed, and I can't see. When I leave the switch, then the counting speed will be reduced, as you can see, and the corresponding sum is showing. I'm again pressing the key. Now the speed is reducing. Now I am win because the sum is 4, 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. I'm again pressing the key. When I press the key, the hash is displaying, which indicates that I have pressed a key. When leave, then win and lose correspondingly move to on to make the surprising and suspense. Now I'm again loosed. Sum is again 3, again lose. Three plus 3, that is 6, again lose. Now 1 plus 3, that is 4, now I am win. For that, I use VHDL coding to code and SPI3AN device, that is XC3S50AN with TQ0144 package. I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire...
Hello friends, welcome to VHDL tutorial. VHDL is a hardware language. Full form of VHDL is VHSIC HDL, where the VHSIC stands for Very High Speed Integrated Circuit Hardware Description Language. VHDL ऐसी लैंग्वेज है जिसे हम सिर्फ डिजिटल सर्किट्स के लिए ही यूज़ कर सकते हैं। एनालॉग आईसीस जैसे कि ऑप-एम्प हम इसकी हेल्प से नहीं बना सकते। VHDL से जब भी हम कोई डिज़ाइन बनाते हैं तो वो हमेशा गेट लेवल पर ही बनती है, यानी कि मिनिमम एब्स्ट्रैक्शन लेवल VHDL की हेल्प से गेट लेवल डिज़ाइन होता है। हिस्ट्री की बात करें अगर हम VHDL के, तो VHDL को सबसे पहले डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस के लिए IBM, इंटरमैट्रिक्स और टेक्सास इंस्ट्रूमेंट के द्वारा बनाया गया था इन 1980 में। 1980 से 1987 तक ये सिर्फ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस के लिए ही था, इसे कमर्शियल पर्पस के लिए ओपन नहीं किया गया था। 1987 में डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस यूएस ने कमर्शियल पर्पस के लिए यूज़ करने की परमिशन इसे दी और उसके बाद इसे IEEE स्टैंडर्ड 1076 में रजिस्टर किया गया। 1993 में VHDL का रिवाइज्ड एडिशन आया, लेकिन इस समय पर भी VHDL इतना पॉपुलर नहीं।
So in this session we are going to talk about the VHDL. Okay, your VHDL is basically basic hardware description language. Okay, description language where your basic expands to very high speed integrated circuits. Okay, so this is your very high speed integrated circuits. Your VHDL is basically used to describe digital systems, okay, of any complexity level, okay, from simple gates to complex microprocessors. You can use your VHDL to describe how your digital systems behave. Okay, your description is basically along two lines. Okay, you can either describe in terms of its behavior, okay, or you can describe in terms of its structural components or structure. Okay, so in terms of structure, what you can do is you can
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this awesome series where we are learning Verilog language. So today in this lecture we are going to understand what is Verilog. So Verilog is nothing but a hardware description language which is used to model electronic systems. It is somewhere similar to C programming language. So if you are already knowing C language, then it would be a cakewalk for you. So first of all, we need to understand that what is a hardware description language. So at present, we are having two types of hardware description languages. The first one is Verilog and the second one is VHDL. So these two languages are highly efficient languages and they are used to describe our hardware. Guys, let's take an example. With the help of this example, I would like to explain you the importance of hardware description language. So suppose if someone asks you to design an IC which performs addition. So you need to design an IC which performs addition, which means if you will apply A, B, then you should get sum
Carry.
and carry. If you are aware of digital electronics, then up till now you must have figured out that yes, this is a half adder. So if you want to design an IC which works as a half adder, so what you are supposed to do is that first of all you need to do the behavior analysis and then you need to do structural analysis. Let's firstly understand that what is behavioral analysis. So behavior analysis means we will see this box as a black box. We don't know what is happening inside this box. We are just giving A as the input, B as the input, and we are getting sum and carry as output. So when we are doing this behavior analysis, we first of all draw the truth table for it. So if the input is A and B, the output is sum and carry, then these are the cases which may occur. It might be possible that 0 and 0 are the inputs, so the sum would also be 0 and carry would also be 0. Similarly, you can see that if 1 and 0 is the input, then sum would be 1, whereas carry would be 0. Whereas if the input is 1 and 1, the sum would be 0, whereas carry would be 1. From this angle, we have got to know the behavior of this circuit. Whereas still we don't know the structure of this circuit, like how we have to practically implement this circuit. That comes under the structural analysis. So when we are doing the structural analysis, we will again see the truth table. Okay, so we are getting sum as 1 when these two conditions are present. So sum is equal to A bar B plus A B bar. So I have written the expression of sum in sum of products SOP format. So while writing the SOP format, I need to find out that where the sum is becoming 1. So on these two conditions, my sum is becoming 1. And how the sum is becoming 1? When A is 0, B is 1, or when A is 1, B is 0. So it would be something like this, when A and B are opposite. So this depicts that it should be a XOR gate. The carry is getting 1 in just this scenario. So
A
carry would be,
and B.
so my carry would be A into
And
B. A into B. This is also my sum of product format. And this depicts AND gate. Guys, if you don't know what is sum of product and product of sum, then you should firstly clear your basics. You can read any basic book which deals with digital electronics, and then you can come back to this lecture. Okay. Now we have done the behavioral analysis, and from this behavioral analysis, we got to know that to get sum, we need an XOR gate, and to get carry, we need an AND gate. So now I know what is there inside this black box. Inside this black box, a XOR gate is there and AND gate is there. Similarly, hardware description language provides us a platform where we can firstly define our circuit in a behavioral manner. Behavioral manner states that what should be the behavior of our circuit. It is just like a black box where we are giving inputs and we are getting the outputs, and from the behavior of the outputs we are trying to predict that what is the behavior. Whereas in the structural analysis, we are looking at the structure, like what is present inside that black box, so that we can really implement that circuit. So when we are writing a hardware description language, then we need to keep certain things in mind, that first of all, we need to have that specifications. The specifications will come from the user which wants an IC. Based on those specifications, you will try to analyze the behavior of that IC. You will make a behavioral diagram of that IC. You will try to decode that behavior in a truth table. And once you get that truth table, now you can easily draw the structure, that what should be present inside that. I want to design a very complex circuit, then what I will do is I will make I will divide that circuit into sub-modules. For example, I will keep this module for input-output purposes, whereas I will keep this module for addition purposes, whereas I will keep this module for bit shifting, and I will keep this module for memory mapping. While building this circuit, if I am having a team of like 10 persons, then I can divide my work among those persons. I can give the task of designing this IO module to someone else, this adder to another team, bit shifting module to another team, and memory mapping block to another team. Once all these modules are ready, then we can amalgamate those modules to make this complex circuit. Friends, in this manner only all our processors, all our system on chips are developed.
Okay. And so in today's class, we just learned about the basic concepts of SDL, the emergence of SDL, the evolution of computer digital design, and steps in VHDL based design. So this is an important question for your exam point of view. Explain steps in VHDL based design flow. This is a very important question. Okay, with this, I'll stop. If you have any doubts, you can raise your hand. You can unmute and you can speak. Shweta? Shweta Karan.
Yes, sir.
Is there any doubts?
No, sir.
Video, audio was clear today.
Yes, sir.
You got the YouTube videos,
Yes, sir.
audio.
Yes, sir. It was audible.
Okay, fine. Is there any doubts? If you have any doubts,
No,
you can
sir.
ask me. Otherwise, we'll end up.
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.